Hi, this is Tina Hewitt, Stampin' Up demonstrator in Adelaide, Australia, and I'm just like to welcome you to this class featuring the Perennial Lavender suite of products from Stampin' Up. Today we're going to create these cards. I'll just show them to you. These are three fairly easy to make cards, so those hopefully won't take too long. I've already pre-cut the pieces as I would do for a class, so you can see this is just on a white basis, nothing on the inside. We've got some lovely paper there, a little bit of stamping, and a happy birthday greeting on that one. And this one is a fun fold, if you like. It's a different sort of a fold, so you've got a piece in there to write your sentiment and or message to the recipient, and some lovely paper again. It's the paper that's the main focus of this class, so these are fairly easy cards. So let's get started on the first one. Put these aside, and this is the one that we're going to be making first. So just bring in my equipment. So this one has a little technique, and where we're going to be using a embossing folder and a brayer. Okay, so with this piece here, I'll just grab the kit. So I've got my bits and pieces here. My card base, my kit pieces. So the first thing I'm going to do is emboss that with this embossing folder called the Softly Sophisticated 3D Embossing Folder. And this is a celebration freebie, so it's available to earn until the end of February 2024. Yeah. So with these embossing folders, I usually put it through the machine. Doesn't really matter which way up, but I usually like to put it through with the label up. So just going to put my piece of crumb cake in there, fairly straight, as straight as I can get it. Yep, okay. So bring my machine in here. And because it's a 3D embossing folder, we're just going to need plate number 1. Okay, I'll just zoom out a little bit. There, plate number 1. And plate number 4, which is the adapter plate for 3D embossing folders. I'll just put my folder on with the folded bit to go in first. Put them together and roll that through. Try not to rock the table too much. Put that through there. That out the way. Okay. And I'm just going to zoom in just a little bit there so you can see what this is. So it's quite a nice delicate pattern. So you can do it like that, but then we're going to use the brayer. Oh, let's zoom in a little bit. And using crumb cake ink. So with the brayer, this is a new thing that's come back into Stampin' Up. Oh, I've got a cat hair on there. That's the hazard of being in this studio. My cat's come in here. So let's let's get rid of that. So with the brayer, the best way to ink it up is to roll and lift, and what that does, lets the roller spin and gets the ink on all of the roller. So that is moving a little bit across there. I could put that onto the silicone mat that comes with this glass mat, but we will just manage without it. So then what I tend to do is just start at one end and just roll over the top there and put a bit more ink on, because looks like my stamp pad's a little bit dry, but it doesn't matter. I don't really need to get it all in the middle. I just need to get the ink on the edges, because that's all that's going to be seen. So we roll fairly lightly a few times, and then you'll get this lovely effect. So that just is on the raised areas, and so that's all we need to do there. Just put that aside and get my cloth to clean. Right, so I've got that. So clean my glass mat so I don't get ink all over my white, nice white card base. So that's the background, so that can be adhered onto that. Right, we can use Stampin' Seal, or we can use a green glue, whatever is your preferred method. So I'll just put this on. Seal, and then stick this on to here. So now the measurements for all of these pieces will be in the description of the video and on my blog. So let's leave this over here. So that's the first piece. Now the next bit we're going to be doing is cutting up this piece of paper. So that is the mat that's going to be stuck on. So I have that handy. And then, so it's not just going to be one piece like that. You look at my first one here. I have got the other side in that. So I'm going to do is just bring in my trimmer. Now this is 8 centimeters wide. I'm just going to cut it in half at 4 centimeters. I've got 2 strips. Then I'm going to cut both strips from the top at 4 centimeters. I'm just lining them up. Put that there. You can cut about 2 layers together. I wouldn't try more than that with this trimmer. So that now we have 4 pieces. See how they line up, and then just the way. Okay, that's how it was originally. There, that bit there, and so you just take the top one, turn it over, bottom one, turn it over. Now, just want to do a little bit of sponging around the edges. I'm just using Pretty Peacock that pad here, just to take off that white edge. And I'm just going over my fingernail, because when you cut paper on one side and you turn it over, there's a little ridge that sits up. So I'm just moving that down a little bit. Fingernail. So just going to quickly go around all the edges. Just a little bit, not too heavy. With that, some of you won't actually see, but I'll still do them just for completeness, because I tend to do this a lot. Just makes it easy. This gives a little bit of a definition, I guess, if you like, to your paper. Just the edges. Have a card making teacher that I still go to, and in her classes you always ink the edges, the sponge edges. I do most of the time for my cards, but not always. But this one I did. So then now I've got that little pattern there. That looks good. Let's close my ink pad. Now I'm going to glue them down, and I will use glue. I find that easier for these pieces. So to get this more or less even edge around the borders, I'm just going to leave the other pieces there so I can work out where they're going to go. So to make sure I don't start off with a too big a border, and you've got a bit of wriggle room with the glue, where you don't really have with the tape. Right, okay, that one's in. So now I'm going to stick the rest in. And this is going to be buttered right up against there. This one. Close to the edge, but it should be alright. Hopefully it won't ooze out. Okay, so now we've got that background piece. So that will be put on there. Oops, I know what I forgot to do before. I'm going to stick that down. Oh no, this is the right, it's the right length. Yeah. I have all these offcuts, strips of white. So this is the same width that I used on that one. So whenever I cut down panels, so this was cut from an A4 sheet, and so I cut it into quarters and I cut them down to the right size. So this will go there, but I just brought this one in to see what the difference is. So I could do that. If I do that, I'll just have to chop it down to that width, which is, trimmer, measure that. So that is 8.5. I'll just put this to 8.5. Okay. Even these skinny bits are useful. So, just to give you a little edge, I'm just going to put little dots of glue there. And stick this on over the top of the join. Just lift this up so I can see where I'm sticking it, trying to get it so it is actually straight. There. Just put that there for a sec. So there you go. You could put another piece down there, another skinny strip. That would look interesting as well. But I'm not going to do that for now. That's another option that you could do. Now the sentiment I've got is actually from this stamp set here called Heartfelt Hexagon, and I have used the Heartfelt Hexagon punch to punch out a piece of white. So I'm going to use Pretty Peacock, stamp that. Just lightly tap. So the thing with the polymer stamps is you can see through them, which is good. So just hopefully my head won't get in the way. Over here, it's not there. Okay, and before I put that away, just going to just ink the edges of that shape. Try not to smudge the ink. It might take a few seconds to dry. That's that. Yeah. I'm going to put this on with dimensionals. I've got full-size ones and mini dimensionals. So I'll just use the full-size ones here. Put them. Yeah. Just put that out there. Now I've got this little butterfly. This is from if I can reach, the paper butterfly accents. Now I did find when I opened them and they started falling out of the pockets, they're very delicate, so just be a bit careful trying to put them back in the packet. So this is another part of the suite for the lavender collection. So now this butterfly here has been sponged. So you can see the difference between the two. So I've got the white one and the slightly green one. You can use a blending brush, but I just used my dauber and just put a little bit of colour on it. That's a little bit. Just to lighten that up a bit. And then to stick that there, to use my glue, but I don't need very much. I just put tiniest little drops. It's a bit much. Tiny little drops here there on the thicker bits. Don't need much at all. That'll do. And then let's put that on there, and that will dry like that. And to finish off, I'll have some bling, and we have these petal pink and Pretty Peacock foiled gems. And I'll just grab my trusty tool pick up a few of these little gems. There. And there. And there. Okay. So that's the first card. Put these away. And then I will get my bits and pieces together for card 2. So that's the first card. It's got the technique on it for the embossing folder, and the rest of the card is fairly easy to put together. So put that over there. Okay. Now bring my bits and pieces for the second card. And we have a little bit of die cutting to do, a little bit of stamping, and I'll show you how to do all those things. Find the other cards. Where did I put them? Out. So this is the second card. Just put that there. And my little bits and pieces. So card 2, we're using this stamp from the Painted Lavender Suite and that one. And the sentiment, the happy birthday, actually comes from this set, which is in the annual catalogue. So it's got some little words there. So I've got them all on a block ready to go. Oops, I didn't mention like that. Okay, and we need the embossing, dies. Okay, put my bits and pieces in here. So this is, for the background panel, just using another shade of this beautiful paper. They've got that side lovely as well, but I wanted to use the purple side. I just use the glue, stick that on there. Now to put this onto the card, I've got a bit of ribbon. So this is a sheer ribbon, which is, I think it's retired actually. And so to work out where to put it, about there, you can use your grid paper. This is where you need your Stampin' Seal or whatever tape runner that you use. Let's go around. Don't use glue for this. They get very messy. I don't actually put any tape on the front bit. So you can use your grid mat on your mat to get it to line up. I mean, this will stick to your mat, but so I've got sticky on the back, but I just eyeball it. So about there, and I just put that around the back so it's secured on the back. And I just see if that's more or less, yeah, that's pretty straight. And then that just goes on the front of the card. If I can line it up. Right. Oh, I know what I forgot to do. I made a big boo-boo there. That's okay. No, what I meant to do was, and I'm not going to take this apart. That's okay. what I meant to do was, is the die that I used to cut this piece here. Now to save some cardstock, just cut it from this bit before you stick that together. So just bear with me. So I have this piece of cardstock, which fits nicely, but I meant to cut this from here because then I'm not using another piece of cardstock, but that's okay. I have these handy. Okay, bringing my machine. Now for die cutting on the machine you need just them out of it. Okay, you need base plate, which is platform number 1. You need the thin die adapter, which is number 2. You need a cutting plate, number 3. Then you put your die on that. It's always a good idea with them, like straight dies, rectangular dies, or squares, or some of those sort of things, just to put them on an angle before you put it through. It just helps with the pressure on the die, and it doesn't make as much cracking noise. If you put it through straight on, you tend to hear this loud crack, which is not necessarily ruining your machine, it's just making a noise. But anyway, that, now I have this piece cut out. I should have my instructions written in front of me so I actually follow them, and then you can see the point. So now I'm going to do a bit of stamping. This is Pretty Peacock. Oh, actually no, I'm not going to stamp those in Pretty Peacock. I'm going to stamp those in Shaded Spruce. Which is under there. That's what I did. I did bring it out, didn't I? Okay, Shaded Spruce. Before I forget, just put my die back on the sheet so I don't lose it or it sticks to something else. So I have this bunch of stalks, and just going to zoom in a little bit. Let's see what I'm doing. Put that up there. I'm going to get fairly close to the bottom. About right. Like that. Then we use Highland Heather. This little stamp is the little flowers on top. They do go one way. Let's have a look if I can stamp it there in the right direction. So I'm just going to stamp that all over the background. So it looks like you've got lavender. I'm going to put a little bit down there because it's looking a bit empty there. Yeah, very good. Okay, so that's that one. if you've got funny hands like me, or arthritic hands, and you find these a bit hard to open and close, there's more than one way to do it. So hopefully you can find a way. So I've cut this white down to just fit inside this die here. And then this is going to go on with dimensionals. Okay. Right, now this happy birthday stamp. It's a very narrow stamp, but because it's a polymer stamp, I can see through it. So hopefully I can line it up. Just going to zoom out a little bit. This might be. I'm going to take my glasses off. I see better without my glasses when I'm doing really close-up work. Yeah, I might just put this. This is bending a little bit. I'll do it in the middle. Look right over the top. Oh, that's pretty good. Okay. It's pretty good. You can even stamp on these really skinny strips. So I'm just using my scissors, my snips as you call them, just to trim off the end bits there. And then just going to put this onto this bit. So a little bit more. It's going to get stuck, so it's sort of above the green line. I just don't work out which bit I'm sticking. Yeah. I'm going to put a tiny little bit dab of glue on the bottom. Hold this up. Oops, I can put it where I want it. A little bit of excess glue, but that will dry and you can rub it off. Okay. Keep that there. Right. Okay, now I'm going to cut off that little bit there. And this is going to be put on with mini dimensionals. Okay. Go on there. I can put it up a little bit there. Okay. Right. I'll zoom out a bit. Right. So here. So here's the second card. Right. Okay, the third card, which is under here. I'll just grab my chamois, clean these stamps. If you clean them more or less straight away, they don't stain as much. I mean, they will stain. The polymer stamps tend to stain a little bit with dark colours, especially the reds, purples, the pinkies, those sort of colours. Do them fairly quickly, then you won't stain as badly. Right, the next card, I'll just pop the lid on that, keep those handy, because I'll need those. Next card, I'll get my bits and pieces for that. That one. And I have my stamps. So with this one, using another pattern of this lovely paper, and I've got a few bits and pieces in here. Got that already pre-cut with some little bits and pieces. So the greeting I'm using on this one comes from this stamp set, Go To Greeting. So it's got the same words in different fonts. Really lovely, really handy to have if you're not sure what to put on a card, or you just want a different size greeting. Now, first thing that we're going to do, this is a standard card base. So standard in Australia, this piece is half of an A4 sheet. So when you fold it in half, it becomes a quarter of an A4 or A6 if you want to use the right terminology for that. So I'm going to cut off 3 centimetres off that edge. So the easiest way to do that, instead of cutting from this side where the 3 centimetres is, and then you've got all this sort of hanging off where you can cut off line, if you put this on that side, then you can line all this up with the top edge and keep it square, and then line that up with 3 centimetres. So that goes to about just goes to about 4 centimetres. So anything if you want to cut just a few centimetres, 3.5 centimetres, cut it this way. Right. So I've cut off that piece there. So now this opens like that one. Right. Okay. If I do my stamping first, then I can put it together. I could do that. I don't always do that, but this is an idea. So I've got my white piece here, my gorgeous great stamp pad, nice big purple ink, and stamp just a bunch of flowers. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, that one. While I've got the purple there, I'll just stamp the happy birthday. This is a cling stamp, so it's a rubber stamp, so you can't see through it. I just check to see if it's more or less straight on the rubber, and then I'm going to try and get this straight. I'm just standing up so I can do that. If it's slightly off, I do have a little cutter. Okay, right, that's okay. It's got a bit more gap at the top than the bottom, so I will remedy that in when I'm putting it together. Okay, put this one away. And okay, so sorry about that. I'm now just streaming directly on my Facebook group, so have my phone set up, and hopefully the sound is not too bad. It's not really what I wanted to do, but that's okay. We'll just finish this class here, and then I'll sort out the tech stuff a bit later. So I've got this piece stamped. Now I want to stamp the stems. Okay, just want to put these over there. Okay, got the stem stamped. Right, I'll just clean these two stamps while thinking about it, or else I will forget. Okay, luckily there's not too much die cutting, or there's no more die cutting or anything like that, but I could have used that, couldn't I? Could have stamped my greeting onto a little narrow piece. That's getting a little bit tricky, so I did it on a wider piece, but it's up to you what you want to do. Okay, I think I've done all my stamping. Now I'm going to put these bits together. So I have card base, so this piece goes there. Actually, going to do a little bit of sponging. I think I've got some ink left on this dauber. Yep. So let's sponge the edges of the paper with the dauber. Okay, and this one as well. Just to take off that white edge of the paper. Our pattern paper has a white core, so you can, if you're into distressing paper, you can get an effect which shows the core coming through. I'm going to bring in the trusty glue and to glue these pieces together. Some nice patterns in this paper. So this is for the front piece. Just getting a bit of wiggle room there. So this piece, the inside, this has got nice purple on the other side of this paper. So I'm just going to line it up there. So it's about there. This piece is for the inside to write your message. Okay. this is going to be on that. Here's the glue again. So now this is your focal point, and this is just going to be stuck on the front flap of the card. This is a little trick that I do, a little tip for you. So you can do this if you're using glue or whatever adhesive. So you want to put adhesive on that side, don't you? You don't want to put it there because then you won't be able to open this at all. So what I do is I actually turn it over. So I know it's there. I don't. If you turn it over that way, you're going to put glue on the wrong side. So turn it over this way. You know, you want to put glue or tape there on that bit, not on that bit, and then turn it over again, and you've got it on the right bit. So you work out, I just eyeball it where you want to put that panel. It's about there. That looks pretty good. Right, now I'm going to bring in my greeting. I'm just going to trim it down. Now I happen to have, and it's around here somewhere, here it is. I happen to have a little chopper that we had a few years ago now from Stampin' Up. I'll call it my little chopper. I use this for this purpose, and I try not to chop my fingers off. Yeah, it's just good for chopping for small sentiments, and I'm just going to down to about there. Line that up. Okay, so now I've got that. I'll chop a little bit off the top to make it nice and narrow. Line it up with the lines on the trimmer to where the metal bit is. Okay. So now I have a skinny piece, and then what I do is work out that. So I don't measure this, I just eyeball it. I say, oh, that's about right. That's about right. So, and about the same on the other side. Now, so I've got that piece I cut off there, but I don't, that's a bit too big. So I'm actually going to stick this, glue this onto the purple. Glue this onto the purple in the corner, and then I'm going to use my chopper to chop off the bits, and just put this, eyeball it around about there. That's pretty good. A little bit narrow on that side. So you can get into a bit of trouble. Chop a tiny little bit off that side. There we go. That'll do. Okay. Now, I'm going to put this on here. Onto the card here. About there. So now, see, this is 2 layers of cardstock. And if I just stick that there, that's just going to go down a little bit. So here's a little trick which you can do, is you just cut off a couple of bits. You could even use, yeah, could even use that. Also cut off a couple little bits of these. They don't have to be perfect. What's this going to do? I should put, come on, oops, bit of glue there. Put that on top. So they don't have to be perfectly lined up. Then do this. I've just put a little bit of padding, if you like, underneath that end. So then that will make this all flat. So I'll just put glue along there. I'll put this about there. Okay. I'm going to finish it off a little bit of bling. So these are purple fine shimmer gems. They're also part of the suite for the lavender suite. I pick a few of these off. Put one down there. One on sentiment. And one up there. Okay. So that's the third card. Let me just move all those out of the way. So there you go. You've got that one. Then you've got that one. And then that one. So I hope you enjoyed this class. And I'll see you in the next class. Bye for now.